Obviously, you're not a golfer.
You want a toe? I can get you a toe. Believe me. There are ways, dude. You don't want to know about it, believe me.
Yeah, but Walter...
Hell, I can get you a toe by 3 o'clock this afternoon with nail polish.
That rug really tied the room together, did it not?
Hello, and welcome to the fastest rising podcast, and one of the only podcasts about movies. This is... this podcast really ties the room together. Episode, let's look here. I have it back here now. Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Seems like we've been doing it forever.
It does.
But it's just 4. We got a classic this week for you. It's Joe hasn't seen. I've never seen it. I guess we should discuss, that a little bit. Came out on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1986. What a date, right? Yep. Were you a lucky lady? Write to us if you were a lucky lady that got taken to see the Delta Force, 1986, February 14th.
I believe that's the day and the year that my mom and stepfather got married.
Really? Did they go see Delta Force after?
We should have. We really should have.
Like, Mom,
It would have set,
I want to see the
It would have
Delta
set the tone for the family blending.
Lee Marvin shows up.
War for a while.
Lee Marvin shows up. He's like, anybody ever tell you you got great legs? He's sitting where he cannot see her legs, by the way.
Not at all.
And she's like, did anybody ever tell you you're a gentleman? Like, what? And then he says, not lately. Starts out on fire. We're talking about Delta Force. Let's see. Number one movie. Any guesses on the number one movie? 1986, February 14th. It's a good one. Actually, two good ones. It involves a city in California. Very upscale city in California. And these people...
Beverly Hills Cop?
Real close. Down and Out in Beverly Hills. The other Beverly Hills movie. I mean, there might be another one. The second one, I'm not going to do it. Color Purple. I was going to say some quotes from The Color Purple. I used to work with a lot of black folk, and sometimes I think still I can I can jump in there with the reference, but not the way in this cancel culture 2024 we're living in.
And rightfully so.
Yes. Number one song. Oh, good song. Whitney. Guesses? Whitney. How will I know if he really loves me? Little Whitney before she cracked out. Number one show.
Cosby.
Effing Cosby. Every time in the 80s you look up the show, number one.
Number two show.
Family Ties.
Number 3.
Was it Cheers, I believe?
It was. Do you know what the number...
Murphy Brown was in there somewhere.
And number 30.
Got off.
Head of the Class.
Head of the Class with Dan Soderbergh himself, my new writing partner.
Yep. That's why, because I know in past podcasts you guys have discussed, and I was like, holy crap.
That's right. Danny Boy.
Number 30.
For those who don't know, I got this guy, Dan Soderbergh, who's in Head of the Class. Don't know what he did after that, but apparently he's still in the business. But he contacted me. He's going to be a writing partner on one of my new things and producer.
Seems like a really good guy.
Seemed really down to earth.
Yeah.
He asked me several times if I had
a lot
max
for kids, I think.
Yeah. Well, he worked with kids forever, I guess.
Yeah.
He had something to do with them. He told me, he kept asking me if I had a max subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah. And it's like, oh, he kept acting like that was a bad thing.
Right.
It's like, oh, you don't trust those guys. And it's like, oh, that's weird. Anyway, Dan Soderbergh and
Fake news.
New product coming out soon. It's all for the kids. Jesus. All right, yes. Murphy Brown, Cheers. By the way, you still watching Cheers? You ever watch Cheers?
The rare case when I flip through the channels and it's on, I'll stop by.
Well, it's on pretty much all the good streamers now. It's on like Amazon and Hulu, maybe even HBO. Mm-hmm. And I put it on because, well, we have a child here, so I can't just put on what I want to put on most of the time. Right. And it's like, oh, it's family friendly enough. It's Cheers.
Bar scene.
It's a bar scene with a sex hound who assaults women every chance he gets, and a drunk guy whose only ambition in life is to get fatter and drunker. And a waitress that insults everybody. And one guy, the funniest guy, is really dumb, and the other one's intellectual. They're both stupid as can be. It holds up so well. Look, granted, I've always loved Cheers. I've always been a big Cheers fan. It holds up so much better than any other sitcom that I could watch from 1986.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like you're watching something from 1986 at all. I mean, sure, Sammy's wearing crazy sweaters.
But those are coming back.
What's her name's got, like, shoulder pads out there.
Yeah.
Still looks good, though. Looking great. What's she up to?
Probably modeling.
Kirsty? I hope so. Hope you're doing all right out there, Kirsty.
I'm sure she is.
Cheers. All right, let's get into the director, Mannheim Gollum. You know anything about Mannheim Gollum?
I know he was in Lord of the Rings. Other than that,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, it's
Sorry. It's terrible.
he's half of canon. So anytime you see canon, you know you're in for a good time in a movie because they're horrible. But he's half of it. He didn't direct most of them. He just produced them. The other partner directed or had more to do with them.
Yeah. Everybody knows that producers really are just names on the screen. They don't actually do anything.
Right.
But
44 movies, I think he directed. He was a big. You ever heard of movies called lemon popsicles or just popsicle movies? They're basically Italian or foreign films. There's some American ones. Now that I think about it, I'm not super. It's not like horror for me. I'm not super well versed. Anyway, their excuse is to have girls running around in bikinis and or their tops come off. It's like before there was just gratuitous nudity in movies.
Right.
He was. That was his thing. He directed so many of those.
we should get him on the show.
Well, we would have to go back in time.
Everybody I want to interview. Everyone.
Now, the other great movie he did direct that we should do, which it's here somewhere in my bad movies, Over the Top.
Over the Top.
Gotta take it over the top. With
Phenomenal movie.
It's a love story about Sylvester Stallone and a boy. Speaking of Dan Soderbergh. It was like, if you watch that movie now, you'll be like, this is really just a movie about Sylvester Stallone trying to get his son to fall in love with him, and his son's not having it.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you crazy?
Look how cool I am.
I wrote those letters to you, and he was sending letters back. I could almost quote that movie. Line by line. Anyway, he did Over the Top and El Dorado, which is actually a good movie.
Yeah.
So, who's in this movie? Lee Marvin. Everybody's in this movie.
Yeah.
Lee Marvin, the Delta Force. Lee Marvin, Robert Forrester. And should we get into it? He's wearing brown face.
Yeah.
He is. I couldn't tell if they painted him or if he just got really tan.
Yeah.
It looked if he got tan,
That's cool.
it was a sure. And the accent. If he got really tan, he did it naturally. Like, it looked good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a dark, like fake tan. Kim Delaney, is she the nun?
Yes.
Oh, got a hot nun in this movie.
Hot.
You're like, nuns have never been that hot before. Distractingly hot. Shelley Winters, doing great work in it.
Yeah.
Is she the Jewish lady with the ring? Is that Shelley Winters? I believe it is, right? Maybe. She's the one that gets a ring taken, because the other lady is what's her name? The famous Lee Strasberg daughter. I'm like, man, she can act her. You know what? Off. She's the daughter of the acting royalty. Robert Vaughn, Joey Bishop. What's his name? I didn't even write down. George Kennedy. Mm-hmm. He's awesome and everything. Now, did you notice that? I've seen this. Kevin Dillon is in it, and he has just like a blink and you'll miss it. He's in there though, and apparently, now I couldn't find him. Mm-hmm. Scuttlebutt on the online says that Liam Neeson is somewhere in this movie. He's one of the Delta Force. Now, I saw Dillon, never saw Neeson. Here's the thing. I've never seen the Delta Force. I didn't know. I know it had Chuck Norris and get this out of the way. Like, for me, 80s action guys, there's like Schwarzenegger's at the top. Stallone's somewhere underneath there. And then you get down into the like Jean-Claude's. Somewhere down in there, not above Seagal, was Chuck Norris for me. I was never impressed with his kung fu. Now, in the Bruce Lee movies, I thought he was awesome. Mm-hmm. Any time after that, I was like, no Chuck Norris. So I'd never seen this anyway. So I assumed the Delta Force was a group of elite dudes.
They are elite.
But I meant like elite and small. I suspected it was going to be like a Magnificent Seven.
Because that's what normally a Black Ops team would look
10
like.
guys.
Not an entire army.
Yeah, you get like, I want like a 12-man wet crew.
Right.
Like that's it's tight. It's freaking 800 people. Delta Force. Everywhere they go, they bring with them
Tanks.
freaking dune buggies.
Yeah.
Motorcycles. Helicopters, maybe? No. Golf.
The helicopters.
Helicopters. Golf carts. They bring in a frickin' city with them wherever they go. So this is highly illogical.
But they do it under the radar.
Under the radar. They are not part of the Army or Marines. They're made up of that, and they're a government agency. Top secret, which they talk about on the TV. All right, you ready to get into this thing?
Absolutely.
All right, I think that's all my notes. It starts off with a weird chyron. There's like 3 of them on screen. I don't remember what they say. And then just a helicopter blows up. And then they're trying to rescue the people that are on the helicopter, right?
Well,
the Delta Force, Lee Marvin and...
Yeah.
And they're all screaming that somebody should help them. And Chuck Norris is the only person doing anything.
The flames are too high, they said.
Well, they're not too high for Chuck.
No? Well, they're
legally safe.
6 inches.
They're movie safe, so they're not that high. But nobody's doing anything. Chuck's in there just straining and they're all just backing the other one, being like, "Oh, come on, we need to do something." I'm like, he is. Go help him.
Did you notice on the helicopter before it blows up, the prop on this side is already completely bent down? Like it's a broken down helicopter. I don't know if they do that for...
Well, these guys work on the cheap. They're known for... Oh, by the way, I didn't finish about the 2 Canon producers, guys. They're Israeli. So there's a strong Israeli theme that goes through this, just of the Jewish people being assaulted.
It's very strong.
They thought they were making Schindler's List or something.
They thought for sure this was going to be up for an Oscar.
Did you notice this has... Yes. Oh, they absolutely thought this was going to win something.
Yeah.
It got one award. They used the A-Team font. I guess the A-Team font used theirs. I don't know what came first, but it's A-Team font. I was not happy about it. We jumped 5 years into the future, much like the next movie we're doing. Except they just... Well, never mind. The music. I know this music. I've never seen this movie, but I know the music. Because I think I've probably seen it in parodies, would be my guess. It was driving me crazy. Goodfellas ladies in the airport. Now we got to meet everybody. So it takes place on a plane, if you don't know. It's in an airport. So I was like, Delta Force. You see the Delta Force. Guess what? We're not going to see him for another 51 minutes. Literally. That's not an exaggeration.
No. I was surprised. I'm surprised now that it was only 51 minutes. It was a while.
Every time this movie needs to move forward or take a step, it takes 8.
Backwards.
In all directions.
Which makes it unique.
In New York.
And I think it gives it more character than your standard. I don't know. It's terrible. It's terrible.
It is you think they're at the 3rd act and it's wrapping up because you're like, oh, they're here now. They finally, spoilers, they finally found the hostages. And they're like, they split up into 3 places. You're like, Jesus Christ, there's 3 missions now.
I think this movie mirrors our show quite a bit. And
Yes.
the fact that when we should move on, we don't. And we stay there. And the next thing you know, an hour has passed.
That's
and we
true.
are no further into the plot line.
It's very true. So all these people are in the airport. We got I don't know how to put this. The terrorists. You know they're terrorists. There's no. They're not trying to hide the fact they're terrorists. There's one guy who's like, I have to get on the. I have to get on the plane. I have to get out. He sways, covered in sweat, disheveled. They're like, all right, sir, you're gonna be okay. Clearly a terrorist in 1986. Then we see Robert Forrester in brownface for the first time. He's got shades on. He looks cool as shit.
Yeah.
He looks kind of Scarface-ish. He's got facish. He's got the mirror aviators on. He's got a sweet suit, which he then tears up throughout the movie. I guess when you hijack a plane, you're going to sacrifice your suit. But man, he looks good. I guess he knows he's going to be on the news and stuff. What do you wear when you hijack a plane? I'm thinking comfort because you're going to be up there a while.
Yeah,
I'm going with sweatpants.
But like
some Adidas
elegant sweatpants.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to look like.
No, I'm going to wear my Gucci
sweaty, scumbag. Because they're not going to take you serious. You're going to be like, this guy just mad because he's poor.
Yes.
So you want people to know that.
Can't show up
look,
there.
I don't need to do this.
You can't show up there in a pair of Winner's Choice and a Tractor Supply hat.
Right. You gotta let people know. Look, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not just hijacking for money. There's a purpose. So.
I put my Gucci lion pants on and a nice Armani suit.
Yeah.
Go over it. Now there would be a point when I would take off my shoes and tell them that these cost $10,000. Throw them at them. And I don't care.
Call myself Space Mountain a couple times.
That's how serious my hijacking would be.
Talk about how your mom.
This is hijack.
Woo! Just walk up to a random person, just chest slap him.
Woo! He's got no guns. He just has his hands. At one point, the captain punches him and he falls in his face. It's like, I think I got him, and then he gives him a nut shot.
See, Ric Flair needs to be in every single movie.
Oh, wouldn't it be great?
Oh, God.
He could have put somebody in a figure four.
That would have livened up the 51 minutes without...
of getting to know the terrorists.
And the entire plane. I do have... Who has better eyebrows than the Colonel?
Oh, Lee Marvin?
Yes.
Yeah, Lee Marvin's eyebrows are on point.
They're amazing.
He had the flu and was suffering from something else, like kidney failure or
gout
something during this movie. So he later admitted.
My answer to that in my notes is nobody. That too. By the way,
the guy from the OC has some crazy eyebrows. I don't know his name. I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar written down here. Was he in this movie?
No, but he probably should have been. Airplane.
Oh, long story short, these sons guns, they hijack the plane. We go through all the people. There's tons of people. There's a couple Jewish couples. There's a Russian guy, which we get to see him talking to the guy from Naked Gun, Dreven's chief. I can't think of his real name right now because I realized he was a Naked Gun right now.
It's like Avon something. It like ends in Avon. Like Gavin or Blavin or...
Anyway. Oh, man. Total blank. Anyway, the Russian guy is heading back to America. Apparently he was Jewish once. I don't know. But he's now whatever the nun is, whatever the priest is. They hijack the place.
I think it's Catholic.
I thought it was
just gonna throw it out there.
I thought it was a weird, like, Latin Orthodox church or something. I didn't get a Catholic vibe from him. He was wearing shades. He was wearing weird glasses. I've met a lot of priests. I have Jason Mantzoukas comes aboard. You probably don't know who that is. If you do, he's one of the terrorists. Look just like him. Oh yeah. So they hijack the plane. Delta Force they're like, call in Delta Force, right? Even though they failed the last mission horribly. The thing blew up. Nobody got saved. Lost a few members. They call in Delta Force. Cut to, what's his name, McCoy? Chuck's character? I think it's McCoy. He's got a ranch. And it's like 3 in the morning. And he's watching TV and eating some breakfast at 3 in the morning. Yeah. That's cowboy life, y'all. Yeah. I think that's what they were trying to get to, is like he gets up this early.
Put himself out to pasture, literally, in retirement.
Yes. And he gets up at 3 a.m., to watch TV in a horse stall where he also is eating his breakfast. What do you got? What do you got?
In my notes, I have, why did we need to see a kid buying a Cabbage Patch doll? Like, how is that important to the movie?
Oh, yes, because she gives it to the dad later. But not really. We didn't need to see it being purchased.
I have, why do we need to see any of this scene except for the guy putting the guns in a very rusty hand grenades into the compartment?
Oh, yeah, I kind of like that. I like
Yeah.
that setup of like, put them in, or how they got to them. I didn't mind that too much.
Yeah, that's the only part I said belonged.
That's it.
Like,
The only problem.
They could have cut out the entire in the airport scene.
Oh, absolutely. They didn't need any of it.
None.
I did like when the little girl was like, they don't like Jewish people, huh, Mama? She was like, no, they control Hollywood and they have space lasers. Sorry, joking. He finds the lady's ring with Robert Forrester in brown face, looking great, kind of jacked, wearing a great suit. At one point, they have everyone. They realize there's Israelis. They realize there's Jewish people on the plane. Like, yeah, it's a plane from America. Good chance there's gonna be some Jewish folks on the plane. They freak out. Like, there's Israelis on the plane. It's an American plane, a-holes. It's probably gonna anyway. So they collect passports, and this is where the movie is like, we won an Oscar.
Yeah.
We're gonna get one. It's you see numbers on guys. It's like they're crying. It's like the Holocaust all over again on a plane. And one of my favorite things of the movie happens here. You know what it is? You want to take a guess?
No, you go ahead.
They asked the
There's so many favorite
They
things
asked
in
the
this
flight
movie.
attendant. They asked the flight attendant to go take passports of all the Jewish passengers. We've seen this chick for a while now. They've been bossing her around.
Great hair.
Great hair.
Great
Fantastic hair.
She has great hair.
She's like almost blondie-ish. And you know I like the blondie.
Yeah.
Not blondes, but blondie. Debbie Harry, particularly. Anyway, and she says to them, I can't. And they're like, why can't you? And, you know, and Robert Forster in his generic Middle Eastern accent. And she says, don't you see? I'm German. I'm German, by the way. I can do this. I'm German. The Holocaust.
German also. So
And then she has to lay into it even more. The Holocaust. The lottery. She's going into everything. And like you can see the terrorists fluctuate from the worst people on earth to
the most caring.
let me take care of this baby and this pregnant woman to, oh, I sympathize with you. You're a German lady and you don't want to go back down this road.
Right.
You don't want your heritage to come up and be like, yep, I'm just like,
I think
you got it right. I'm a bad guy.
I think they're showing also that the terrorists are just normal people that happen to have a major issue with something.
Yes.
We're just normal people. We care about things. My daughter's the same.
I
age
have a
as you.
daughter.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I have a daughter.
Yeah.
The American pigs killed her.
I would like to flash back real quick.
Yeah.
To the guy that missed the plane. How do you
That's the Jason Mantzoukas guy.
how do you screw that up?
How do you not get there in time? And
How do you? And also,
that's what I was
how do you
thinking.
have one of your terrorists with a standby ticket?
Oh, is that right? Is that what happened? I missed that.
Yeah.
He didn't have
Because they're
a
like, this plane's full. You can't get on. You'll have to go on another one because he's on standby. In case, you know.
I didn't
How do you
notice
have
that.
one of your terrorists with two guys with seats right next to each other?
Trigger warning. There's a lot of
There's
terrorist
three,
stuff.
there's 3 seats in that aisle.
Yeah.
And that's 2 of the guys are together. And the other guys stand by?
Stand by. I didn't catch that. Once you said it, I do remember them saying this place is full. He's the guy I was talking about, which I was like, this guy's not a terrorist. He's sweating buckets.
Well, it's got to be
You could've-
400 degrees on
you
the
could-
plane because everybody's sweating buckets.
You could have planted rice. There was so much sweat from this guy. It was bad. Chuck Norris sees the news about the hijacking. This, once again, is 50 minutes into the movie. They cut to Delta Force. They're like, is Chuck coming? I'm just going to call him Chuck. Is Chuck coming? They're like, No, he's not coming. He's quit because he quits after the debauchery at the first one. We're doing a bad job again. After they fail the first mission, Chuck Norris is out. That's why he's at the ranch. He's retired hard. He says no, but then he says, "I called him." And they're like, "You called him?" It's like he didn't answer. Why do we need that conversation?
Why do we need half of this movie?
Most of this movie is. I think I would have liked it when I was a kid because this is most of the movie. All right, we got him. We're gonna go in there. Delta Force.
Why do we need the Russian character? Why do we need him?
The Russian character is not important at all.
No,
I guess because.
But they make it like he's like, I'm Russian.
No, you don't need it. And he's like, oh, Russian. He's like, no, America has been very good to us.
14 minutes into this movie, and we have seen two people take metal objects out of someone's mouth.
Yeah.
There was the ring in the airport.
Really weird. Does he put his finger in the mouth or does he lick it? I don't remember what he does. Robert Forrester, when he gives Okay, you're talking about something else.
Yeah, in the airport, the woman takes her ring off.
Yeah.
But she's like, sticks it in there and has it in her teeth, and then it tells the other older woman to take it and look at it.
I didn't catch that.
And then, on the airplane, he's got the hand grenade. And then they swing the door open and the pin drops.
Yeah.
She gives it to him in his mouth. And then he gives it to someone else. He's like, take it and put it back in.
Sounds like old Gollum had an oral fixation, I think.
There's two scenes in the first 14 minutes where somebody's taking a metal object out of someone's mouth.
And then 55 minutes later, when Robert Forrester, he finds the ring.
Clearly pre-COVID.
He knows that it's some type of Hebrew written on it, right? I love you, you love me. It's like Barney. It's written on there. And, excuse me. But he gives it back to her because at one point they have to stop. We have to get to it eventually. They have to stop at a certain country, which they're like, no, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But there's more. To take it off, he like deep throats it and then gives it back to her. It's really weird. Like, what are you doing? Now, Jason Mantzoukas, Delta Force, the captain. Captain comes back. The plane's loading. And like I said, every other scene is Delta Force, gear up. Putting silencers on. Putting stuff in trucks. It's like G.I. Joe. It's basically like you and I were 12. Man, not 12. 9. Yeah. And they were like, you guys want to make a movie? And we were like, yeah, in this scene, the guys get a bunch of stuff and they like get all their gear together. You just do it over and over again. So yes, they are hijacked. The Delta Force is back on the plane. Is this where they have the drill about how they're going to get the hostages out, or is that later?
That's later.
That's later. Okay.
Actually, after the whole airplane scene, that is when the colonel is in the bar talking to.
Okay. Yeah, that's the. Yeah. Yes, because then we see him. Yep.
I have very specific notes on this movie. Guys, angrily writing.
Mine's big, so I can see it. The plane's loading up. Oh yeah, Jade. One of the terrorists. They have this whole scene where he gives the girl. It's like we talked about. He gives the girl the doll back. Nope, this is right. Yes, I see. He's in the bar. This is actually when Chuck sees it. Then we cut to the Delta Force and because Captain coming back. The plane's loading up, and then. This is when the guy finds the rings and he collects the passport. And the old man, you find out the old man's a survivor. This is when I realized, I said, holy S, Robert Forster's in brownface. It took me this long in the movie to realize it was him. He's wearing glasses before that. The star of Alligator and Jacky Brown, he's in brownface. And from this point on in my notes, I call him Jacky Brownface. So,
rightfully so.
That's when we get the German girl. We're not too bad. We're on to now.
3 Navy guys. Don't forget about
the 3 Navy guys that are partying. They got Hawaiian shirts on. Yeah. They're having a good time. Are they Marines? Are they Navy divers?
They're clearly Navy, but they just keep calling them Marines.
They keep calling them Marines. They're like, no, we're Navy divers. You Marine heroes. I'm just doing the voice. I don't care. You Marine heroes. You. It's like, no. They're really stupid because the lady's like, we need passports. So they're like, loudly, we don't have passports. We got this Navy pass. It's like, shut up.
Don't tell them you're military.
Oh, you don't want this Navy? It's like, shut up. Your only chance at survival is short of the Delta Force, you a-hole.
When the terrorists come up and they're like, here's our Navy pack. She's just like, screw it.
Like Navy, they're like, oh, Marine hero. They beat the crap out of the one guy.
That guy has a tough role.
He does have a tough
Man,
role.
he takes a beating.
They call him up. The music gets so serious. I wrote down here. The one lady's like, do something. Much like, I mean, it's serious. It's like there's so much allegory here. And just like, it's basically saying, if you don't do something, we're all going to die. Nobody's doing anything. There's like, and which I was like, there's two of them, guys. And by the way, the other guy's in the cockpit for the entire time. So there's one of them, guys. You could do something, especially the Navy Marine heroes.
Yeah. Well, it's the Navy.
Then the terrorists are nice. They help the little girl. This is what I was going to say. Chuck shows up, and he's like, well, good. Lee Marvin says to him, good thing you showed up, because I don't have to give you this presidential decree ordering you to come back.
Right.
Chuck Norris.
And how long were they going to wait for Chuck? For this presidential decree?
They keep saying they're not going to wait for him. They always wait for him.
Yeah, just 5 more minutes.
Just 5 minutes. Presidential decree ordering him to come back. There's conservatively 250 of these guys, but they have to wait for the 65-year-old.
Well, experience matters.
Chuck Norris. He comes back. He takes the presidential decree.
Wads it up.
Doesn't throw it, though. Just kind of like the politest, like, I don't want somebody to have to go find this. It's going to drop it behind me.
There is a cut scene back to the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
And the terrorists make everyone stand up and move around. They make all the men sit by the windows, and then the women.
That's right.
And then
I was like, hey, window seat is my first.
So they make everyone on the plane move around, which is not a good idea. Number one, because you're distributing weight around. That's not supposed. That helps the planes fly. Then after they do that, then they're like, you know what? Everybody in the back. Why make everyone move around and then move them again?
Yeah, I got the first move. I was like, I've never seen this, but I get it. They're putting the men where the men would have to cross over the women to do something, and you would have to then fire through the women to hurt the man, which was pretty clever. I was like, I've never seen this in a hijacking movie, and man, oh man, I've seen so many hijacking. I'm lousy with them.
The two moves threw me. The two.
It is very weird, and the second. Let's see here. They reach the airport. And they say they're going to kill one of the Marines if they won't let them land. This is an airport somewhere, I don't know, some weird land. I'm not sure where it is.
Beirut? Were they in Beirut?
Could have been Beirut. And everybody in Beirut
is a weird land.
Seems to be not cool.
They're not,
you know what I mean? They're like, they seem to be on the terrorist side. Like, they're like, you're not landing here. You're not whatever.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of things blocking the strip. I thought this was funny. And then when they're like, we're landing, they're like, they torture that guy over the radio, which is pretty funny. Like, it could have literally just been me and you being like,
ow!
Oh, no!
Oh, yes, please land the plane. Land the plane. We didn't know you were going to beat someone up.
Are we done yet? Yeah. Oh, you're punching somebody? Instantly, all the vehicles scatter, which I'm like, you had people in those? You were blocking an airport that this plane was going to potentially land, and you had people in all those planes. You didn't think to get him out of the freaking way. You're going to kill all those people? Anyway, they instantly back up. We know something's up here. I just said they're blocked with people in cars. Delta Force. They come up with a plan. Now, this is a great part. There's 2 terrorists on board. How do we know?
Calculated guess.
Calculated guess.
Calculated guess.
Lee Marvin, calculated guess, he tells them.
I feel like there should have been 3, but I'm going to say 2. Like,
yeah, I feel like maybe one got left behind at the airport. Maybe he just had maybe the plane was sold out.
There's a sleep well line. So, two of the Delta Force members are sitting there, and the rest of them are kind of asleep already.
Okay. Yeah,
on the transport point.
Yeah.
And the one guy's like, I'm gonna get some shut eye. And the other guy goes, sleep well.
Sleep well.
Which,
Tough guys.
But it was like
tough guys are cool.
So thoughtfully said.
Yeah, tough guys are sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like this camera isn't on you. Doesn't it seem like it's missing you somehow?
I feel like your camera is shooting over here. Like,
oh no, it's right on. I can look right into it. But you can't look right into that one, can you? We're moving the camera live, folks. I don't care. It's been bothering me. I've been off my game for the last 5 minutes because I've been looking at that camera. Thinking that's not set up right. Yeah, so Beirut. Yeah, you're right. Beirut. I wrote down. That's where the center. That's where the town terrorist headquarters are, right by the cemetery. What do we say here? I said the mom. There's everybody's sweating. It's so sweaty.
I have naked 6-year-old girl.
Well, yeah.
Question mark.
There's a mom who that's why I just have nearly topless.
Yeah. Yeah. The mom is nearly topless. The little girl is topless with breasts showing.
I didn't catch that.
And I'm like,
oh, I'm kind of glad.
I'm like,
because it's hot. They just want to show it's so hot.
There's like even today though, they have been known to go back and edit old movies.
That's true. Yeah. You'd think that would be
that. I'm sure that 4 seconds of naked child could have been cut out.
Could have been cut out. It was not crucial. Yeah, the fact that they're hot and sweaty and have to take their clothes off should not calculate into this movie's plot whatsoever. Delta Force.
Wait, was your co-writer in it? No, he wasn't.
No,
not yet. He wasn't. He was a child like us.
Delta Force, gear up. One of my first scenes is gear up. A bunch of guns in the air, lots of sounds, click, click, click. Guys running around. G.I. Joe. And then nothing. Well, they have to wait.
Yeah, there's a Christian priest spy that they kind of cut to in the middle of all that.
That's right. And when they get to Beirut and finally do land, the plane gets flooded with more terrorists. So now it's just not 2 guys. It's the other guy somehow got there. How did he get there?
No, he gets there later.
Oh, okay, he gets there later. But a bunch of new terrorists show up with bags on their head.
Take them in. Or they take the Israeli prisoners and leave the rest.
Yes, and they leave the women and children here, right?
Yes.
He says, send back anybody that speaks English. What about Russian? I wrote down. German woman leaves the guy from ski school. One of the Marines, I named him from ski school. He looked like the guy from ski school with the big eyebrows. Delta Force pulls up with Uzis.
Yes, mini Uzi.
They take all the women.
In Algiers. They're in Algiers now. When Delta Force gets
there. They take all the women's things. This is where Forrester is like, oh, I noticed your tan line. How often you notice in a woman's tan line?
Right.
Often. You're that observative.
I don't say.
He says, oh, is this yours? He's wearing it now, by the way. He put the ring on. And then that's when he does the like. Look, what are you doing? You're giving it back to her, but you got to be gross. Meanwhile, Delta Force is just effing around. It's like, I wrote down it's been 58 minutes. 58 minutes at this point.
I'd lost all track of time, all sense of time at this point. So I had no idea how long it seemed like a long time. I
did write, it seems pretty petty that they're taking the jewelry. Yeah. They're part of a New World Revolution, they call themselves. They're going to get justice.
He's got a $10,000 suit on. What's he need?
Yeah, and they're like, give us your rings. What are you going to do with them?
And all your jewelry.
You're going to give them to your girlfriend?
Right.
You're going to take them to a pawn shop?
Melt them down.
Melt them down? What do you make bullets out of them? Why do you want this? It's really petty.
So all of Delta Force has Uzis.
Yes, it's just Uzi Central,
which is clearly the choice of all marksmen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because Uzis are so accurate.
Uzis. You don't just spray the room with an Uzi randomly. What was I gonna say? It probably doesn't matter. Something about the pettiness. Anyway, they're go 58 minutes. He asked the German blonde. I don't know who this is. Oh yes, the blonde girl gets in there. Now she's one of the. They get off the plane. Delta Force is waiting for them. They're all ready to go. They're in disguises. Yeah. They're all there's like 8 different divisions of Delta Force, like Delta Force 1, Delta Force A, Delta Force 2. They're all dressed up as painters, airway people. It's bad. Once again, it's G.I. Joe tactics.
And then also in Algiers, there's no way that they could have possibly picked up that all of those people were American.
No.
They're not going to stand out at all.
Did we miss the part where Chuck Norris, he shows up in a safari outfit off the ranch? I think we missed that part.
Yeah. Dang
it. They show up. Anyway, Lee Marvin finds the blonde, and he's like, boys, let me have a little time alone with her. He's kind of isolated to interview her, which is like, what? And then she informs him, right as Delta Force is getting ready to strike, there are no longer 2 terrorists on this plane. Countless terrorists.
Yep.
To which Lee Marvin gets on a golf cart.
Which is the fastest route.
He could have ran
the fastest way. Well, he tries the radio, but Chuck Norris made the mistake.
That's right. They say
of going radio silent.
They go radio silent. Why the fuck would?
But radio silent.
Why would you go radio silent?
But radio silent does not mean take your earpieces out. Everyone takes their earpieces out. Oh well, nobody's gonna say anything anyway. So
it just means don't say anything over the radio, right?
They show every person like taking their earpiece out.
Hell with it. We don't need to listen to anybody.
Let's go.
Lee's on the thing. Call it off. He comes out on a golf cart with a siren blaring.
It's a great scene.
Oh, man, it's hilarious. The terrorists seem a little chaos ensues. They're blowing up stuff. Shootout with Uzis.
Chuck Norris is standing behind like a truck.
They had no plan, by the way.
And the colonel and the driver are driving 40 feet from the airplane where the terrorists are shooting at them. Nobody can't hit them. They pull up, park. The driver never even looks concerned.
No.
The driver of the golf cart.
No.
Because golf carts are, agile and quick, so he's not worried about getting shot.
Covered. You got plenty of place to hide. Is this where, Jacky Brown, they have no plan. It all backfires. Jacky Brownface shoots ski school Marine in the back so they don't have to, actually show it to you.
Right.
And throws him out of the plane. And I said it's pretty effective, actually. I thought it was pretty, it was obviously a dummy, but it was actually a pretty good-looking shot when they, shoot him and drop him out. I was like, oh, that was effective. And then I wrote down, you blew it, Delta Force.
Did you notice that the terrorist, the second terrorist, the main terrorist, after they kill the Navy guy and drop him out of the plane, gives him the peace sign?
Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that. This is one of those movies, I think they took 2 takes of everything, and one, it was always different. They were like, all right, now give us peace sign on this one. You know what I mean? Now flip him off on this one.
I am not a terrorist.
We cut to the war room, which we haven't talked about. They've gone to the war room a few times,
amazing.
And it's got a bunch of actors. Everyone, you're like, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy.
It's a who's who of people you can't name, but it's right on the tip of your tongue.
Yes, exactly. It's like watching a BBC drama. I think I know these people. Now this is where they cut from the war room
to the training
scene,
which is amazing.
The training scene is so good. It's one of those fake outs, so it's which is always fun in a movie like this. Well, where you think is this the real? What's happening here? Is Delta Force finally gonna? You're seeing Delta Force in action. Look at these guys; they can do it. No, it was a training scene, and the training scenario, they pop in through a hole, right?
On a fake plane.
They pop in through a hole. Bunch of them. They start shooting. At the end of the training, they say. It's what?
Chuck's like 20 seconds. We can do it in 10. No, you can't.
Yeah, 20 seconds. We can get it down to 10. It looked pretty damn effective at 20 seconds. I don't know how you could cut out any fat from it. We can do it in 10. And then
he stops training completely. You guys work on it. I don't
you guys work on it. This is your problem.
I've got something else going on.
I'm an old man. I got to go talk to the other old man in charge. This is the 80s. Old men were cool. We cut to there's prisoners in Beirut. Man, there's a great conversation here where the guy's like, I used to come to Beirut. It was the Las Vegas of the Middle East.
Now look at it.
There's no way this place was the Las Vegas of anything. It looks like an old adobe village in the Southwest has been reclaimed by someone.
Yeah, it looks like literally we went back to biblical times. Like it's mud huts and it's pretty rough.
It's just,
all the neon's gone,
you expect to see the Flintstones and or Moses coming out of any one of these places.
Which I don't know.
It's like they went to Machu Picchu and we're like, let's live here. And they're like, this used to be the Vegas of Machu Picchu.
They shot up all the neon, I guess.
That part. We skipped the part where the guy's like, one day I will drive truck into the White House, your precious White House. And all the Americans are like, you can't do that. It's like, they'll stop you.
Clearly, that was just a farce. We were told, like, there were like rocket turrets on top of the White House that would pop out. And in real life, like growing up. And like the one guy crashed a plane in real life.
In real life, yeah.
He was not shot down.
He was not shot down, no.
There were a few people that found their way in at some point. I don't even remember if it was an important thing.
But they are quick to tell him, no way, man, you can't do it in America. One of the guys is like, you should start teaching guys how to fly planes. Start a school down in Florida.
Boy.
Jacky Brownface, he's interrogating. Oh, wait, past that. Jacky Brownface, he shows the Marines the newspaper of their newspaper's got a front page photo of a dead guy. They say, look, your Marine hero is dead. Show his buddies a picture of him dead on the newspaper.
Why?
How'd he get that frickin' newspaper?
Why do they not keep correcting him? Why would you not say, we're not frickin' Marines? We're Navy.
We'll have to ask our Navy buddy. If this was like, if we kept calling him a Marine, which I think we should from now on.
He would just break down and be like, fine, you know what? Well, he's a chef.
He's a Marine chef. He's like that guy in that game. Jacky Brownface, shows a newspaper. Chuck is going through the airport. What? Oh, I just have his belt. I just have Chuck Norris's belt underlined.
It's amazing.
His belt buckle. His belt's pretty insane.
I have terrorists decide they don't like the Christian priest any longer. Bad sign for him.
Yes. Well, they meet. Yes. He's like, you better bring flowers. They meet the rat guy. They meet the informant, the priest guy, right? And he's like, you better bring flowers. To which they're going to a cemetery. That's their secret meeting place, right? They go there, drop the flowers on the grave, and then just proceed to talk about the thing. It's not like they're not acting like they're not looking down at the grave.
No, there's like
they're literally
just sold and looking away by now. This is clearly they're just going.
He gets out binoculars. Starts looking at the headquarters. It's not fishy. He's just mourning someone in this cemetery by the terrorist headquarters.
He's trying to see back in times when the person was still alive. This is what the terrorists should have thought.
Yes, of course.
Yes, remember.
And then Jacky Brownface gets a hold of the rabbi, and he intercepts the rabbi, priest, whatever he is. I think he's a priest. And the priest instantly gives them up, just like, go! He didn't have to do that.
You two, run!
They got me. They know the plan, and you guys are the part of the plan. You better run if you don't want to die. They throw him over the top of the building.
Right.
Bad time for the priest, like you said. Yeah. God was not there to help him break that fall.
Or maybe, I don't know.
It goes down. We didn't see him die.
Mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways.
He gives up his buddies. Then, probably the best part of the movie, in my opinion, second best part. We get a chase in a minivan. We get a car chase in a minivan.
It is completely.
It's destroyed by the end of it. Chuck Norris is hanging out of the side of this minivan with an Uzi again, right?
Yeah, because it's accurate.
He's so accurate with the thing, and he's just spraying these. There's like armored trucks and shit behind him, right?
It's no bullet can go through this van. It goes into the van, but clearly is stopped.
Stopped somehow. It hits the van, makes a hole, but it doesn't actually puncture the van somehow.
Because it's like bullet holes surround Chuck, and he is fine.
It's like I wish I had an ear. Just play the chase scene.
We can edit that in.
It is great.
And cut.
Chuck kills them all. I had a timestamp here and everything to do it. It's 1 hour and 14 minutes.
Well, I said cut, so you can edit it in.
He kills them all with one Uzi. Lee Marvin shows back up. I had some ice cream earlier. You like ice? You know, I had some ice cream earlier, and I would just never mind. A bit, and my voice was like, I tried to do a voice, and my voice came out with whatever that was.
I thought it was dead on.
That's my Lee Marvin, of course. Lee Marvin talks like this.
You might as well.
Once again, Lee Marvin's with the gang. We're almost out of time, and he tells them, "Gear up." God damn it, they've geared up so many times. They meet a boat. There's some more bad music on it. This is the part where we talked about earlier. On the boat, they have Jeeps, tanks, dune buggies, motorcycles.
Motorcycles key in this.
Motorcycles very key. My other favorite scene, they're getting ready to attack. They're at the city. They're like surrounding it. The terrorists, the hostages are there. They know where they are. That's what I said. There's like 3 sections of them. They're like, well, one's in the airplane, one's in a dungeon, right? And there's a third place. And then Lee Marvin says, boys, get your badges on. And this is when everyone pulls out an American flag and puts it on their shoulder. Now, maybe our Marine chef can inform us why this is. Were they not to give away who they were yet?
Yeah, maybe. Like
Marvin does it earlier in the movie.
Since it's a Black Ops style thing, maybe it's not sanctioned, so they don't want to get caught as an American citizen or American military on foreign soil.
Delta Force is geared up. They got night goggles. Now, they look at this drain pipe earlier.
Yeah, I just circled. Here comes another sewer pipe.
I was like, what is going on?
Did maximum overdrive suddenly kick in?
Because they don't need, they never tell you their plan. Like, part of these movies' fun should be, it's just like a heist movie. It should be, this is the plan. And then you kind of see the plan unfolding as they tell you the plan. They never tell you the plan. They just do it. So all of a sudden, you're like, where's Chuck Norris in all this? Oh, here he is. He's in a frogman. He's a frogman.
Yeah.
Once again, it's just G.I. Joe. They were like, what toys?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, every kid likes frogman.
Yeah. It's got to be a diver. Let's have divers.
Let's dive in the water and then swim into a freaking pipe that's right here. They could have walked to the edge of the beach and walked into the pipe, but they swim up to it for some reason. Oh, my God. They all have 18 pounds of gear on them. They have like ropes. They all have ropes, G.I. Joe looking stuff, poles. You're like, what is these things? We find out it's a giant ladder to build to get up underneath the place, which they rig with explosions. They wait to get their putty ready until they're up there.
Well, is
that how you do it?
I have no idea.
I think it might be ready beforehand.
I think.
Or maybe it's one guy's job instead of all of them. Anyway.
Just waiting for the putty guy.
Marion chef. Marine chef. He's already been downgraded.
We're going to call him Bill.
He might not like that.
The Marine chef.
The Marine chef.
It was Bill. Just a made up name.
Yes. They finally attack. They blow a hole in the thing. The four-wheelers go. The freaking tanks go. They got night vision. I do think the tanks look cool, or the Jeeps look cool. They have like some kind of weird blue lights.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure what they are, but I was like, that looks kind of cool. They finally attack.
Like some of the guys have the night vision goggles on. Mm-hmm. Some of them just have them up here.
Yes, some of them are wearing dark glasses at night.
So clearly, it's hard to tell if the night vision is advantageous, not advantageous. Like it's hard to tell.
Yes. What's great here is they're starting to panic. The terrorists are panicking. One of them gets on the radio, and he's like, "The Americans are here. They're on tanks and bikes and oh no,
no!
Time for the radio show."
Everyone was on the edge of their seat, just getting ready to find out.
Thanks for listening, WDBX. We love you. If you want to hear the rest of the show, find 20 and 21 wherever podcasts are found. We'll see you next time. And we're fucking clear. All right, so they get where was I at? I don't even know now. The radio. There's like the Americans, and he's it's like, do they want to negotiate? Americans want to negotiate, and then Chuck Norris comes in with the worst line reading of all time, and he says, "Did you get that?" And he shoots it up, and he says, "Loud and clear," and turns around and walks out of there.
Not even a smirk.
Nothing.
No.
And you gave that. Even Seagal could have sold that line.
If Seagal could have done it better, Chuck, come on,
for real,
Chuck. I got 1 hour and 17 minutes into the movie. We get our first look at the motorcycle.
It's true. Yes, the motorcycles come out. We have a rocket launcher scene where he blows up some guys with a rocket launcher. Lee Marvin says, "Get out of here." He's like, "How?" It's like, "I don't know. Quick." He uses a zip line to come down. Hostages. They miss the Navy heroes again.
Yeah.
Nice to have OG written down. Question mark. Big city. He says, "Find." He says, "What do we do?" He says, "Find anyone who speaks English and go to work on them." Which I thought was bad advice. They instantly give up the captain. This is where the good guys get a little rough. They put the gun in that guy's mouth. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Give it up." He instantly gives up the captain.
I'm not sure how the terrorists got tipped off that the Americans were coming, because they knew.
Yeah, they did. I don't either, but they did know. Then I have Delta Force is going to blow up this hospital. Is that right? It's like, that's not cool, guys. I know they're terrorists in it, but you can do something else besides blow up the local hospital. They're in Lebanon. It says, "You stop for one man on a motorcycle." Oh yeah, because the guys got in trouble. They died. It's like, "You stop for one man on a motorcycle." Boom, rocket comes through. Wait a minute. Oh, he blocks some bullets on a wheelie. He shoots a rocket. This is the motorcycle we've been talking about. Oh shit.
There's so many of my notes that we've missed, but that's fine because we're running out of time.
We've been talking about this. So here's a great shot of them with the cannons. There we go. Chuck gets on this motorcycle, and as you can see, it's got rockets on the front of it. So you're like, whoa, machine guns, either side, rockets. Now, the problem with that is, if you have machine guns on your motorcycle, you can't really aim them, because when you do this, you turn.
Yes.
So very flawed. He says, "You stop for one man on a motorcycle." Boom, rocket comes out of the front. You're like, holy crap, this motorcycle has rockets that shoot out the front.
Yeah.
Really cool. Then he drives very clumsily and starts shooting with these machine gun things. Somebody shoots at him. He does a wheelie to block it, which I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. He blocks it with a wheelie. Bam, second rocket. I just wrote, somebody says, "They're Delta Force." Which is such a G.I. Joe thing to say. Finally, this guy falls off a truck, and you're like, and Chuck is off of his motorcycle. And I'm like, finally, hand-to-hand combat. Chuck Norris. This is an hour and 48 minutes into this movie. I'm like, Chuck's going to fight a guy. And he literally just, like, kicks him twice.
Did you notice
Chuck
had a Rambo knife?
No, I didn't.
One of the rainbow survival knife things.
No.
Yeah.
Have compass and everything in it?
Well,
Did you get the matches?
Compass,
Did you get the
I'm
matches?
sure it had the matches and the saw inside it. 7 miles per hour is what I put that Chuck was driving.
Yeah, yes. Yes. I also forgot to mention at the end of that car chase, when the van drives away, it is destroyed. And there's people just hanging out, and they're just driving off into the sunset. Nobody's doing anything.
Pete is the name of the guy. Flashback to Chuck saving the guy at the beginning of the movie in the helicopter. That guy's Pete.
Oh, okay.
Pete gets hurt again.
PD. Is that the guy that put the belt buckle? And he says...
Pete's the guy that dies.
Yes, because Chuck, he says, where'd you get that?
The only
guy that dies. And you know he's going to die because he's Chuck's like protege-ish.
Yeah.
And he says to him at one point, where'd you get that ugly belt buckle? He's like, you gave it to me. He's like, oh, sorry, or something. He says. So then you're, oh, well, he's buddies with this guy. He gave him a belt buckle.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, he died.
So
Jacky Brown.
So fighting the terrorist.
He's fighting the terrorist. Jacky Brown
Doesn't feel like killing him yet.
No. He gets away. Jacky Brownface gets away. Yeah, this is where Matt Dillon can be seen. It's like everything's kind of on fire, and the Delta Force is a little like shaken, and he's just like this in front of the camera, looking scared. I thought it was actually the other Dillon. I thought it was the younger
Matt.
one. Yeah, but it's not. Forrester hides in a house, maybe 45 feet from Delta Force. Yeah. Like it's literally Delta Force is fighting. Imagine this table's like a war map. Delta Force is fighting right here. He goes in a house where the dude is.
Yeah, it's just a driveway that goes up a hill.
Yes, they're fighting right here. He goes like this.
Parks right out front.
Parked his car out there.
Right there. It's like that was definitely the car he left in.
Jacky Brownface parks his car out there, gets to his house. Then what happens? Motorcycle through the window. Chuck comes through, blasted through. Jacky Brownface
still doesn't feel like killing him yet.
Still doesn't feel like killing him. He's got nothing. He doesn't know what to do. Is this where he just beats the shit out of Jacky Brownface for a while?
Yeah.
It's a long. I wrote down. It's a long, slow fight. He runs away for the car, and Chuck bursts out another window with the motorcycle. He rides away. You're like, what are you doing? What's he doing? That's when we realize the motorcycle has
rear
back rockets.
Yes.
Which would just, if you were on a motorcycle that shot a rocket off the back, you would just like, it would be Jackass style. Like it would propel the motorcycle forward.
Yeah. I have, still doesn't feel like killing him yet. Fight. Mm-hmm. No need to take the leader of this terrorist group alive and get answers.
No.
Let's just shoot him backwards with a rocket from the motorcycle. We don't want to know why specifically. But we could have easily taken him alive 47 times.
Easily. No. Let's motorcycle rocket him.
Yeah.
Bang bang. And I'm like, well, that's it, right? Movie's over. No. Another mission is coming. All of a sudden, Delta Force is in a cotton field.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no cotton fields in Israel, but
I don't know, maybe.
I don't think there is. They have all black on in a cotton field.
In daylight. No,
in daylight.
Yeah, it was daylight by then.
It was daylight. They're wearing all black. Let me repeat that. In a cotton field. Cotton's white, in case you don't know.
They're cut off from the airfield
yes,
by a chain link fence. And they're like, oh, shit. Yeah. How do we deal with this? And then
the silent assault is actually pretty good. This is the only time, I swear to God, this is the only time you actually see Delta Force's efficiency, because they show up with silencers. They're very quick.
Silencers
like,
on the Uzi.
On the Uzis.
On the Uzis.
They take out everybody pretty quick. They kill Jesus. What? Have they killed Jesus? They break. They break in, and Lee says, "Good morning," and they reply in turn. Oh yeah, when he gets to it's the pilots.
Yeah,
and he pops in. They kill Jason Mantzoukas guy, Jesus. He's the guy that they're like, does he have a code? And they say something. He opens the door and they're like, pew! Right to the head. He tumbles down. Lee Marvin goes into the plane and says to the pilots who are like tied up, been hostages this entire time. Good morning, and they say to him, good morning. All pleasantries are not gone with these guys.
No, well, I've got lucky for the Americans. They seem to find a terrorist that can speak English every time they need someone to speak English and tell them something. The rest of the guys, no.
It's very true.
Yeah.
They're like, they hijacked the plane. They're like, where's McCoy?
Patriotic song playing in the background.
Patriotic song playing in the background, absolutely. They're going to leave him because that's what they do with McCoy. They're not going to wait for him because he says to Marvin, don't wait for me. I won't. And then he waits for him a little bit. Motorcycle comes. There's some Jeeps chasing. There's some couple bad guys left, and they're chasing the plane, right? Like their plane's going like this, heading toward them. They're heading towards the plane, shooting at them. Here comes McCoy in his motorcycle without moving the handles at all.
The terrorists can't hit a jet 50 feet away with their guns.
They're just firing everything at him. Nothing. Here comes bike guns, and somehow he can shoot on either side of them without moving the bike handles, which is suspect. And then one more rocket, because why not?
I've got Chuck takes him out like a badass American. Gets on the plane like a badass American.
Very slowly. I have rope slowest climax since Sting.
How long is that fucking runway?
Yes. It's a runway out of Fast 7.
Somehow Budweisers are still on the plane.
I know, I was going to say, they pass out Budweisers, the queer beer.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know.
That one didn't age very well, did it, Kid Rock? You piece of shit.
I'd still drink Bud Light. I don't really care. Beer's beer.
No, nobody cares.
No, nobody cares.
Then, for no reason, his rookie dies. This is the guy that we haven't talked about at all. Dies, and man, Chuck is shaken up by it. But not so much that they're going to bury him or anything. They just leave him wherever they are, and they're like, "All right, Delta Force, get out of here."
The priest pets the dead kid like a dog.
I didn't get that.
When the kid dies,
yeah,
the priest is there, and he's just like, hits him on the head, and then like rubs down like his hair, and I don't know.
Oh God! I wrote down the rookie dies, and Lee Marvin looks like his eyebrows could fly away at any moment. And then I should have known we'd see them go all the way home and reunite. So we get to see all the hostages reunite. Delta Force doesn't seem to care. They're just like, we're out of here.
Right.
Good thing we did our job.
I have.
They drop off the dead guy, and they're out, and that's it.
Why are they still wearing ropes around when they're getting off the plane? Like every Delta Force member has ropes around them.
Everybody's covered in ropes in this movie.
Yeah.
It's a G.I. Joe.
And
thing.
ropes really weren't a big part of the movie.
No, I really think it was literally like the 10-year-old was like, they should have ropes on. It looks cool.
And then I have my last note. Another shameless Cabbage Patch Kid doll plug.
Yeah.
And then I put the end. What a piece of shit. I mean, and then I scratched out shit and put art. So,
any guess at the budget of this movie?
86?
It's low, even for 86. $12 million to spend on this.
I was going to guess 10.
It made, you guess on what it made. It made a little bit of money.
22 million.
Oh, 23. Really close. It's
an educated guess.
It's a calculated guess.
Calculated guess. God damn it, I screwed up the line from the movie.
As we do at the end of this show and in the other shows, we must decide, does this movie really tie the room together? On the other show, we ask if it's greatest of the 21st century, 23rd century. Does this movie really tie the room together? What do you say?
Loosely. It loosely ties the room together.
I'm going to say it's dirty no. Let's say
it's our first no.
It's our first no.
It's our first no.
I think we might have one on the next one, too. That's it, though. No, I do love elements of this movie, and I'm glad I watched it because I had no idea that it was wanted to be a serious movie. I would have went to the grave thinking Delta Force was just a bunch of dudes running around shooting stuff.
I just kept thinking Delta Farce, which I think was another movie.
It's a Larry the Cable Guy movie.
Yeah.
We're not going to watch that one.
Yeah, because This one was bad enough. We don't need a knockoff.
No. Oh, God, no. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.